You there. Where did you come from?
What are you talking about? I've never met you. You're right. I was. How could you have possibly known that? Is that some kind of sorcerer? Well, I don't want any trouble. Let me get out of your way. Let's forget this happened, shall we?
I've been meaning to ask you, do you think it would break the dwarves' law if
Yes. Whatever you were thinking of doing, yes. If you have to ask whether something will break the dwarves'
Welcome to
law,
our city.
it probably will.
I trust you've spoken
I will
with
not
our
get your
guard.
head at parties.
Oh, gods! Not Thank the gods! Quickly, you have to let me down before that monster comes back. What? Why not? So you're just gonna leave me here? What? No, that's not. Please don't leave me here. Please. I'll do anything. Please don't leave me. So this is what the Jarl has been hiding in his locked room. What he killed Harubal over. He's been keeping this woman prisoner. Who is she? Maisie. And he's kept her here this whole time, chained to the wall like an animal, and watched silently as Ulrin suffered. Why would he do this? Why would he do something so monstrous? You are right. There's no other way to look at this. What he has done to Macy is evil. The only question then is what we are going to do about it. That would be a mistake. Makara has seen firsthand what a Dark Elf can do to a person if sufficiently angered, and it is not pretty. So, as nice as it will be to see Metellus meet a horrible, horrible end, perhaps it is not worth breaking the dwarves' law over. Getting everyone killed by centurions, ourselves included, is a high price to pay for a bit of satisfaction. However, if we find a way to end the dwarves' law first, put the centurions to sleep permanently, then we could set Ulrin loose and perhaps even join the fun. After what Metellus has done, Makara won't shed a tear for him either way. But the others in this city, Think about it. Yes? It is your goal. What are you doing? After you.
And here you are. I've been waiting for you, Dovahkiin. Of course, to me, your memories are an open tome. To begin with, I know you have taken many lives in cold blood. Liar. And what's this? I see there is a helmet in your possession that does not belong to you. It's... You kill me? That is not possible. And yet, I see you speak the truth. You have come unstuck from your own time. Your presence here is unnatural. Well then, Dovahkiin, why have you returned with this grim trophy? Have you come simply to gloat of your foul deed? Do you comprehend what you are asking me to do? You are asking me to abandon millennia of work. The very thought of it grieves me. And yet, you have left me with no choice, have you? If I agree, I will destroy my life's work. But if I refuse, you will destroy me. Well played, Dovahkiin. You will have your wish. I will stop. From this point forward, your kind will be free to live how they choose, in whatever chaos and squalor they create for themselves. I will destroy this Ethereum to ensure your kind can never exploit it, and you may all return to the world of man, should you wish. But I warn you, Dovahkiin, making these changes will create a paradox in time. the events that brought you here will never have taken place. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering with the past. Now, are you ready? Goodbye, Dovahkiin.
Hey. You startled me there. Wait. I know you. You're... No, that can't be right. For a moment there, I thought you were... You know, the one the statue was meant to honor.
Cassia! Oh, I completely forgot. I asked her to wait for me at the top of the lift, and... I guess I got so tied up in this place that I lost track of time.
I'd better head back up and let her know I'm alright. Hey, do you want to come with me? We can chat along the way. Great. Follow me. Let's... back up, shall we? Don't want to keep my sister waiting any longer. So, you're probably wondering what I've been doing down here. I guess it's been, what, a few days? I'll be honest. I came down here looking for a haul I could unload on the next merchant I met. I just wasn't expecting to find a thriving city, and the history of this place is amazing. Did you know that up until about 7 years ago, they had what they called the Dwarves' Law? Apparently there were inscriptions warning that if one person committed a crime, everyone else would pay for it. But they were all trapped in the city with no way out, so they lived in fear that someone would break the law and get them all killed. Then, one day, a strange woman appeared in the city out of nowhere. They say she just walked out of the lake house, like she owned the place. And a few people saw her walk into this quarry, into a field of deadly radiation, like it was nothing, like it hadn't killed people before. And then, the ground started shaking, and golden statues were collapsing, and inscriptions were crumbling all over the city, all at the same time. And the sun under the ground, which used to light up the entire cavern, bursts into flame and explodes. And strangest of all, the cavern roof opens up like the petals of a flower, and there's real sunlight for the first time in thousands of years. So of course, people start wondering, did she just walk down here and single-handedly dismantle whatever was keeping the Dwarves' Law going? Who was she? Was she still alive? So Bro, the local scholar, goes down into the quarry to take a look. But now the whole place is empty. But all the way at the bottom, sitting alone in the darkness, is a statue of the stranger. Oddest tale I ever heard.
Hey, hello there, young lady. You look nice. Can't complain, my friend. You know, not long after they executed Metellus, turns out he was behind Macy's disappearance. They made me Jarl. It was a bit of a shock, to be honest. But I guess they wanted someone who wasn't at all like Metellus. Jarl Galvar. Still sounds strange to me. And I guess I have you to thank for it. If you hadn't freed us from the dwarves' laws, Ulrin could never have overthrown Metellus. So, thanks. I imagine you'll be moving on soon, but you'll always be welcome here. We even kept your chambers exactly as you left them.
Who's there? Wait. Dragonborn? Is that you? What is this one doing here? This one can hardly believe it. Is it really you? Strange. How long do you think it's been since we saw each other? Minutes? It's been years. Makara thought you were gone, that she would never see you again. You remember descending below the city, convincing that Dwemer the Arbiter to end the Dwarves' law? It would appear he sent you forward in time. There was this bright light that surrounded you, blinding. It only lasted for a moment, but when it disappeared, you were gone as well. After that, the Arbiter left, and without his energy, the energy of the Ethereum under this place, the entire city began to change. Some sections of the tunnels crumbled, the damaging energy around the Arbiter's dome dissipated, and perhaps you noticed the changes outside? Yes, and a host of other things happened as well after the Arbiter left. Most of them for the better. Most of them, yes? 7 years. You might be surprised. Today is the exact same day we first came to this city all those years ago. Incredible how different things are now. This one could ask you the same. Although, if what Brawl the Scholar told her is true, she suspects she knows the answer already. 7 long years for this one, and it was instantaneous for you, wasn't it? As Khajiit expected. In the weeks after your disappearance, Makara was convinced the Arbiter had just blinked you out of existence. Who knows what the Dwemer are capable of, yes? But Brawl did everything he could to console her, said that if everything about her story was true, ending the Dwarves' law had merely prevented you from ever coming here in the first place. And so, because you had found this place once, you would find it again, likely on the very same day, 7 years in the future. Why Makara had been left behind, Brawl was less sure about. It did not make any sense why you should have returned while Khajiit was left behind, and yet it had happened. Brawl would have disagreed with you back then. He set to work trying to find his answer. Makara, on the other hand, took it more as a sign that she was still here because she was meant to do something. The extra time she had been given had a purpose. She knew not what, but... After Metellus was removed from power, Jarl Gulvar offered Makara a position in the city guard, called it the Eyes of the Jarl. Old name, yes? Like any other guard, only more behind the scenes, yes? Makara and Marius were to be its only 2 members, based on our affinity for the shadows. And so we kept watch, for a time. This one felt wrong in the role, though. If she had a purpose for being here, This was not it. But it gave her time to think, and one day the solution came to her. If this truly was years in the past, then Udasi Dro was still alive. Surely that had to be Makara's purpose, yes? To save her brother, to prevent his death. Makara resigned her position in the ice and returned home to Balmora to find Udasi. Even found him after a few months, but she failed. Udasi is dead, and perhaps that is the only way it was ever meant to be. It was. The year we were together was wonderful, but losing him again, it made Makara realize this purpose behind her being left in the past. It was imagined. There was no purpose. It was merely something that happened. Udasi was gone. You were gone. And Makara remained. Not immediately, no. This one returned to Skyrim, joined one of the Khajiit caravans for a few years. You know Matran, yes? She might have stayed with the caravan, if not for his words. He saw she was not happy and asked her why. And when she told him, he spoke from the heart. The winds in this land blow bitter cold, and it is easy for the chill to creep under your fur. But you do not belong out here, little one, shivering in the cold. You have another place, another purpose. If only you let them, these winds will carry you to warmer sands. And Makara knew then, this was where she was meant to be. Here, waiting for you. Likewise, my friend. It has been a long 7 years, and this one is happy to see her face again. All right, let's go. Dragonborn, you've been gone for 7 years now, and there are days Makara has difficulty remembering your face. She holds out hope that you are alive, and that one day you will return from wherever it is that you have gone. Bro the Scholar suggested that Khajiit write this note, as more of a backup plan than anything. He maintains that you will return today, on the same day we first came to this place. And while Makara would like to believe that, these past 7 years have taught her to keep her expectations measured. After you disappeared, Makara wondered for a time if there was a reason she was left behind. A purpose. And she thought she had uncovered that purpose when it occurred to her that perhaps here, 7 years in the past, her brother might still be alive. The thought would not leave her. Makara had been enlisted into the city guard for a few months, but she resigned her position shortly after and returned to Morrowind to find Udasi. It took some effort, but she tracked him down. Khajiit cannot describe what it was like to see his face again. She embraced him and cried all over him, and though he was angry at first, saying Makara had up and disappeared on him months ago, it did not last. You saw the tears in this one's eyes, and the anger gave way to a smile. Makara told him everything that had happened. About the city, the dwarves' law, about you, about his death. She thought hearing of his own death would horrify him, but instead, it lit a spark inside him. The same spark that had driven him to his death before. The Dwemer, time travel, alternate dimensions. When the inevitable day came that he mentioned traveling to Skyrim to find a lost artifact, Makara knew nothing she could say would prevent him from leaving. But perhaps this was the purpose, the reason Makara was left behind. Udasi was always going to return to Kagranzal, but perhaps he did not have to die. She decided she would go with him, protect him. And together, we would brave Yagranzel's depths and come out with our pelts intact. Only, when we arrived, we decided to rest first, camped just inside the entrance. And while Makara slept, Udasi sneaked away to scout ahead. When this one awoke, and he was not in his bedroll, she knew what had happened. She found him below. He had fallen, broken his legs, and died while this one slept. Udasi was dead. It was no easier to lose him again, and it left Makara in a haze. She is still in that haze, and she sees no end to it. There is nothing left in this world for her. Brol says you will return, and she hopes it is true, but she cannot bring herself to raise her hopes. She wants you to know, though, the time we spent together was among the best of Makara's life, and she would not trade it for all the moon sugar and elsewhere. She only wishes it hadn't been so brief. Wherever you are, Dragonborn, this one hopes you are well. Makara.
Hey, I know who you are. It's wonderful to see you again. Atreus, there you are. Thank the gods you're all right. What kept you so long?
I know. Sorry, Cass. I lost track of time again. It's just that this city is so amazing. You have to come down with me and see it for yourself. I promise. It's perfectly safe.
Well, all right. But first, let me thank our friend. Thank you so much for bringing him back in one piece. I really thought I'd lost him. I can't thank you enough. Now, I promised you a reward. This is something I always carry with me, and it's become very dear to me. I'd like you to have it. Thanks again. My brother and I are in your debt.